What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be speaking about having your Pluto conjuncting your partner's ascendant in synastry. When having this aspect between yourself and somebody else, this does point to a pretty powerful connection. It's also one that's going to be somewhat life-changing. And when it comes to the connection they have, it is also one that's quite intense with the conjunction between the ascendant and Pluto. And having this synastry is going to take a lot of emotional maturity on both partners' sides, because the synastry can bring up some deep emotions, and it is one that can lead to some triggering for both partners in this relationship. In this relationship, the Pluto person and the Ascendant person really can experience an intense level of attraction, and they can feel quite compelled towards each other in this relationship. And in their relationship, they experience connecting by experiencing this level of being seen, where it's like somebody is able to see right into your soul. And that's especially for the Ascendant person when it comes to how the Pluto person is making them feel in this relationship. And the Pluto person, he has almost irresistibly drawn to the Ascendant person. And when it comes to that intense attraction that the Pluto person has towards the Ascendant person, this can actually feel very intense. It's also has the potential to be quite intimidating for the Ascendant person in this relationship with the Pluto person. But on some level, it also can be quite thrilling in this relationship. When it comes to the Pluto person has the potential to transform or change the Ascendant person's life in some way in this relationship. And when it comes to any of those changes, it is in big and major ways. The relationship is one that is going to be transformative. And when it comes to the Ascendant person, they are being pushed to confront a side of themselves that they may have gone through life unaware that it was there. For instance, any kind of insecurities or fears, or even any kind of hidden desires that they have. This relationship is going to kind of shine light for the Ascendant person. And in that way, this relationship is quite transformative, even on an individual level. And they can experience a lot of growth through this relationship and what it's teaching them, and especially teaching them about themselves. In this relationship, the Pluto person is the one who takes on this more dominant role, and the Ascendant person may feel overwhelmed through being subjected to that in this relationship with the Pluto person. And when it comes to the power dynamics within this relationship between the Pluto person and the Ascendant person, this is something that they may deal with in their relationship, where the Ascendant person can feel very overwhelmed or feel very challenged by the Pluto person and the intensity that can come with the Pluto person's presence in this relationship. And emotionally can be quite overwhelming at times in this relationship. But it is really encouraging the Ascendant person to really take a deeper look into themselves and to their psychology through this relationship with the Pluto person. And with that, this relationship is one that's deeply felt for both of them, and is very difficult to ignore, especially on an emotional level. And with it being so hard to ignore, this relationship is one that leads to a lot of obsession and also even feelings of compulsion in the relationship. There's a desire to be able to kind of be in the position of controlling or dominating in this relationship from both of them. And depending on the Ascendant person and the Pluto person, this can reach unhealthy levels, and it can even lead to feelings of insecurity and jealousy coming up in this relationship between them, as well as feelings of possessiveness. And in this relationship, when it comes to the Ascendant person, although they may experience this as feeling very challenged and even pushed by the Pluto person in this relationship, they still feel the sense of attraction and fascination towards the Pluto person, and that this relationship is really kind of confronting them to face any fears, insecurities, and even just some layers that are deeper and hidden about themselves. And they can experience this as an opportunity for growth and being able to evolve in very necessary ways when it comes to this relationship and the Pluto person, and how they're making the Ascendant person feel and what they're getting out of this relationship with the Pluto person. When it comes to the Pluto person, they feel this deep, almost magnetic kind of attraction towards the Ascendant person. They may feel the sense that the Ascendant person has the potential to be able to help them be able to tap into and even explore the deeper sides of themselves and the psychology behind that, especially in the emotional realm of things. But also when it comes to the Ascendant person's looks and their appearance and how they present themselves, this is something that for the Pluto person is really difficult to look away. They can feel very pulled in and drawn to the Ascendant person and feel this fascination with the way that the Ascendant person looks. Their style and their overall aura is something that is pulling them in, and it can even come across as if at times they are obsessing over the side of the Ascendant person. But there is something about the Ascendant person's appearance that the Pluto person finds very compelling and even hypnotic, and it's right from the start a strong and even a little bit of a mysterious kind of a being pulled in to the Ascendant person for the Pluto person. And when it comes to the positives that come up with this SYNASTRY aspect, it is in how they have that strong attraction. And when it comes to their connection, they can connect on a really deep level, especially emotionally with this. And with the deep connection, there can be a lot of trust between the two partners, and they can be quite open with each other, where they have a very deep level of vulnerability and feel comfortable being able to share that side of themselves with each other. And another thing with the SYNASTRY is that they can have a very strong, deep level of emotional connection. This relationship is one that is very passionate, but it also is one that has a lot of depth in it. And it can get quite intense at times, but when it comes to the connection they have, it is one that is very meaningful and is one that is going to be quite different, and even one that is unforgettable for both of the partners, as it can imprint on them quite strongly. And with the SYNASTRY, they do learn a lot and even grow a lot through this relationship and experience what is transformation through this relationship, because it is a transformative relationship that having this aspect brings into a relationship between two people. For instance, for the Ascendant person, they get to confront sides of themselves that they hadn't before. And with that, there is the opportunity to experience even discovering hidden strengths that they have as well. And because in this relationship, the Pluto person has a desire to be able to shape or even control the way in which the Ascendant person appears and their appearance and their life and their identity. For the Pluto person, this is actually coming from a place of a fear of losing control. And this can look like the Pluto person adopting certain types of behaviors that can include things like being secretive or even just being very defensive with the Ascendant person. And they can have a very distinctive power dynamic in this relationship. And with that power play, the Ascendant person also discovers different strengths that they have. And in this relationship, they both experience personal growth as well as the opportunity to experience transformation as a result of this relationship because of that. In this relationship, the Pluto person has a fear of having their emotions overwhelm them or feeling like they are being rejected by the Ascendant person in this relationship. Because in this relationship, the Pluto person does go through some really intense emotions in this relationship with the Ascendant person. And in the negative, this leads to things like power struggles between the two partners, as well as even control issues where the Pluto person may be appearing as trying to control or dominate the Ascendant person's behaviors in this relationship. And this relationship can become overwhelming at times. It can also be one that experiences a lot of emotional volatility where there are high highs and there are low lows. And since it is one where the emotions do run quite deep, the intensity can at times be not only overwhelming, but it can also be a little bit destabilizing and feel very exhausting on both of the partners. And That intensity in this relationship can be something that both of the partners fear or feel compelled to resist in this relationship, and that can lead to them not opening up with each other. And especially since it's Pluto and it is aligned with the Ascendant in a conjunction in particular, they're actually going to experience a lot of growth and even a lot of change on a personal level through this relationship. With the conjunction, it's a pretty strong and powerful aspect, and it makes it so that everything is even more intensified. And when it comes to the power dynamics and when it comes to the attraction, especially when it comes to the influence on the ascendant person's appearance and their personality and the way that they express themselves, the effects of this relationship are going to be pretty strong and pretty noticeable. The emotions become heightened when it comes to attraction or when it comes to any of the fascinations that they feel towards each other. And even when it comes to any of the tension that can come up in the relationship between each other, it becomes heightened because it's a conjunction. And this also makes it so that the bond that they have is one that feels quite powerful for both of them in this relationship. Well, that does it for this video on having your Pluto conjuncting your partner's ascendant in synastry. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to this channel for more videos. Well, that is our 11 Vivi. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.